Hello everyone, welcome back to Minus to Millions. We're in the second day of December now, and we've got £1,047 in the bank. And what we're going to be doing today is making a start on cutting down the forest area on our new piece of land. But before we head over and do that, I need to get the trailer connected to our tractor, because I'm going to get the pallets we have outside the greenhouses loaded onto it, so we can sell them and make a bit of money to lease forestry equipment. As there's no way we can cut down lots of trees without having something to lift heavy logs or an actual log trailer to put them on. And depending on how much we make from the pallets, I might even go for a trailer with a log grabber attached to it instead of a log fork and separate trailer. The only thing is, we do need a fairly big trailer, as there's going to be a lot of logs to load up. And the log trailers with a grabber that can be attached to tractors are fairly small. So really we'd need to get the lorry that has a log trailer and grabber on it, which will probably be quite expensive to lease. So if we can't afford to lease that, then I think our best option would be a log fork and separate trailer. But until we've sold these pallets, I won't be able to look at how much any of them cost, because all it will say is we don't have enough money. So we'll just have to wait and see. And we've only got 3 more of these to load up now, then we can put the flowers on by hand. So it shouldn't take us very long to do. Okay, that's all of the pallets loaded onto the trailer, and we've got 5,000 litres of flowers and 5,000 litres of mushrooms. And with both of them being worth 1,000 or more per pallet at any time of year, we're guaranteed to get a minimum of 10,000 from selling these, which should be more than enough to lease the equipment we need. So let's see how much we get for these, then we can go and look at how much everything is to lease. Right, we got 12,669 for them, which is a very good amount. And that's left us with £13,717 in the bank, so we should easily be able to lease the equipment we need. I'd say we might even be able to afford the lorry, but I'm going to have a look now, so we'll know for sure in a second. And I'm pretty sure the lorry will be in forestry machines. Yeah, here it is. And this is 180,000 to buy, so leasing it will definitely be a good few thousand. Right, it's £9,180 to lease, so we can afford it. But the cost per workday is 1,800, and for each work hour, it's 3,780. So it will work out pretty expensive if we use it for a few hours, or keep it on lease for a day or two. And I think we probably would need to do that, as there's lots of trees for us to cut down. So this probably isn't the best option for us. Let's have a look at the forestry trailers and see how much they'll cost us. Right, here's the 2 with the grabbers attached to them, and they're not that expensive to buy, so the leasing cost wouldn't be too much. But if we look at this one, you can see they are very small, so we'd have to drive back and forth to the sawmill so many times using one of these. So I think our best option would be this trailer here, because it will fit plenty of logs on, and we can attach it to our tractor using a dolly. It's only £1,989 to lease as well, and the cost per day is £390, then for work hours it's £819, which is a big difference to what the lorry costs. So yeah, we'll go for this one. I think getting a stump grinder would be a good idea as well, because then we can remove the stumps as we go, instead of having to do it all at once. And it's 1,377 to lease this, with a cost per day of 270, and per work hour is 567, which is not too bad. And now we've got them, we just need to get the log fork for the tractor and a dolly for the trailer. Okay, here's the log fork, and this is 3,000 to buy, so we could afford to do that instead of leasing it. And that would actually make sense for us to do, as we'll definitely end up cutting down trees on other pieces of land we buy. So yeah, to save us having to lease one whenever we need it, let's just buy it. Right, now we just need to get a dolly, which is here. Okay, this is $459 to lease, with a cost per workday of 90, and per work hour is 189, so it's pretty cheap all round. And that's all of the equipment we need, so now we can get it connected to the tractor and head over to our land. And after getting all of that, we have still got £6,892 in the bank, so it didn't actually cost us that much. I'll leave this trailer and the pallet fork up here for now as well, because there's no point taking it back to our land, then coming back up here to pick up the forestry equipment. And if I leave the pallet fork just here, it will be out the way. Right now I think we'll get the log fork on, then if I lift the front loader arm right up, we should be able to fit the stump grinder on the front underneath it. But if we can't, I'll have to put it on the back of the tractor and then come back for the trailer. Looking from here, I'm pretty sure the stump grinder will be able to connect though, as there's plenty of space under the front loader arm. Yeah, it has connected, so we will be able to take all of the equipment over to our land at once. And now I just need to get the dolly on the tractor, then I can hook the trailer up to that. And I have just thought that our tractor might struggle pulling the trailer once it's full of logs, because it is a big trailer, so it's going to be very heavy once it's full, especially with how much the logs weigh. So what I think we'll have to do is fill it up around halfway, then check if our tractor can pull it before we load any more logs on. Because I don't want to fill it right up, then find out we can't pull it and have to take logs off. So yeah, if we do it like that, it will save us having any problems. Right, here we are at our land, and I'm going to start cutting the trees down from this top part, because we already cut some down from here last episode. So I may as well carry on from here and work our way down to the bottom. And I'll have to cut down some of these small trees first to open this area up a bit, because there won't be enough room to get the logs in and out with the tractor if not. And this one here looks like it will be the furthest we can go before we're on to the next piece of land, so I'll start with that. No, we can't cut it down, so I'll have to go for this one. These small trees only take a second to cut down as well, and I can load them onto the trailer by hand, so it won't take us long to get them out the way, because there's only maybe 5 or 6 of them that I need to cut down. And I'll pick this up from the bottom so I can put it on the trailer from the back, because that'll be easier than lifting it over the sides as they're quite high. Okay, now I'll just move it up to the front. Then I did see a branch still on here that I'll quickly try to get rid of. There we go. Right, this one can come down next, then the ones on the left. And once they're gone, we should have a decent sized gap to get through, so then we can start cutting down some of the big trees behind. Saying that, I'll get the stumps removed from all of the small ones that we've cut down first, just so I don't end up driving over them and getting stuck, or even worse, tipping the tractor, which is easily done when there's heavy weight on the front loader. Also, it can be difficult to see the stumps when they're in the grass, so I'd rather get rid of them while I know exactly how many there should be to remove, because I don't want to miss any, as we need this whole forest area clear of stumps for when we plough the fields in. So yeah, if I just keep on top of removing the stumps as we work our way through the trees, I shouldn't end up missing any of them. And I was going to leave the stump grinding until the end, once I'd cut down all of the trees. But like I said, I don't want to get stuck on them. And this one's got wedged between the sides, so I'll have to pull it out. Okay, it should slide back now. No, it's flew in the air. But it did land on the trailer, so at least it ended up where I wanted it to. Anyway, I think we've only got this tree and the one just behind to cut down and load up now, as I can't see any more small trees in this area. But I will have a look around, because if there is any more, I can get rid of them before we start removing the stumps. But I'm pretty sure there won't be, apart from that last one. No, I can't see any, so this will definitely be the last small one we cut down. Well, at least from this front area that is, because there probably will be a few in between the big trees behind us. But even if there is, they won't be in the way of us getting the tractor through like the ones along the front was, so it doesn't matter. And I probably should have slid this one on from the back, because I've made it a bit difficult going through the side. But I've got it on here now, so it's fine. And now we've just got to get in the tractor and connect the stump grinder, so I can remove the stumps from the trees we've cut down so far. Then I can start cutting down the big trees. There will also be 2 more stumps a bit further in from the trees I cut down last episode. So while I've got the stump grinder attached, I'll get them removed as well. Then this whole area will be completely clear of stumps. And that's the first one gone, so we've only got another 4 left from the small trees, as I cut down 5 of them. So this is the second one. Then there's another one just behind the right wheel of our tractor, which I'll get rid of next. There's also one of the big stumps behind us now, so I can just reverse up to that once this is gone. And after I've got rid of this big stump, we'll only have 1 more of them to remove, and 2 more small ones. And I can see both of the small stumps just here in front of us. So once I've got rid of this, I can drive straight over to them. I did just catch a glimpse of the last big stump as well. And now I've turned the camera round, you can see it's just next to that bush. And that's the first one of these gone. So I've only got to reverse along here now to get rid of these last 2, which is nice and easy. Then once this one's gone, I'll take the stump grinder off the tractor and we can start cutting down and loading up the big trees. And I'll start by cutting down whichever tree I can along the top line of the next piece of land again, because then I know that any of the trees I could cut down from this top part will be gone. And this tree next to us will be the only one I'll be able to cut down from here if anything, but it is further back than the small one that I obviously couldn't cut down, so I doubt we'll be able to. No, we can't, so I'll go over to the line along the side and start from there. And this one is the closest to the next piece of land, so we'll start here. I can cut the trees up in longer sections now we have the tractor to lift heavy logs as well, so it won't take us nowhere near as long to get through each one as it would if I had to load all of the logs up by hand. There will still be some logs from each of these trees that I can lift by hand though, because the pieces from the top of them are very thin and light. So what I'll do is load them up first, then put the ones I need to lift with the tractor on, because that will save me picking up bits I don't need to with the log fall. And there's pieces like this that I can lift by hand, which is still quite long, but just not very heavy. Speaking of things being heavy, I am going to do what I said earlier, and fill the trailer up around halfway, then see if we can pull it. Because if we struggle to, I can go and unload the logs at the sawmill before it gets to the point where we can't pull it and have to unload some of the logs. But if we can pull it easily, then I'll keep loading the logs on until it's full. So I'll get a time lapse going until the trailer's roughly half full, then I can work out what we've got to do. Okay, the trailer's half full now, and there will be quite a lot of weight on there, so if I can pull it without the tractor struggling, I'd say we'll be fine to fill it right up. But before I attach the trailer, I'm quickly going to remove the stumps from the 3 trees we just cut down, because they're going to end up getting in the way when I'm loading the logs up from the next couple of trees if not. Also, now this area's opened up, I am going to bring the trailer in here, either when we get back from unloading it, or straight away if we can pull it without struggling, because leaving it closer to where we're working will save me having to drive as far each time I put the logs on. And if these stumps were still in the ground, I could end up getting the trailer stuck on them, which wouldn't be ideal. So at least having all of them removed means I can put it wherever I want to without worrying. And that's all 3 of them gone now, so I'll take this stump grinder off the tractor, then we can go and connect the trailer and find out what we need to do. Which will hopefully be keep loading it up, because then I can just move it in here and carry on cutting down the trees until the trailer's full. I won't bother strapping the logs down until I know if we need to go and unload them either, because they won't go anywhere if we're only moving this to over there. And if I drive into where I want to leave this anyway, there's plenty of space to turn around if we do need to go and unload the logs. It will take a bit more power to pull this trailer round than it would to go in a straight line though, so if the tractor can manage this, then I think we'll be good to fill the trailer right up. Yeah, judging by how easy we pulled it round, I think we'll be fine to fill it up. So if I leave this here, we can carry on cutting down the trees. And we did fill the trailer up quite a bit from the 3 we cut down, so I'd imagine that we'll be able to get the logs from another 2 or 3 trees on before it's full. But that is a lot of logs to fit on at once, so I'm glad we went for the big trailer instead of one of the small ones with the grabber attached, because I think they would have only fitted 1 big tree on at a time. So it would have taken us forever to get through the amount we have so far, as I'd need to keep driving over to the sawmill and unloading it. So yeah, getting the trailer we did was definitely the best option for us, because if I went for anything smaller, we'd have ended up doing a lot more trips back and forth. And this tree has fell into the next piece of land, which means it won't let me cut it up. So what I'll have to do is remove these branches, then get in the tractor and try to move it back into our land. And I'll probably have to push it rather than lift it, because it's going to be way too heavy to pick up, especially without us having a weight on the back of our tractor. Yeah, it weighs 2.6 tons, so I highly doubt we'll be able to lift that much. I think I should load the log up that I've already cut off the tree before I try to move it as well, because then we'll have a bit more space to push it around without hitting anything. And to save us having this problem again, I'll make sure I cut down any of the other trees on this side the opposite way, so they fall into our land rather than the piece we don't own. And I'm not sure why I didn't realise I needed to do that with the one we just cut down. But like I say, at least now it won't happen again. Well, I mean, it probably will do at some point, so I should have said that I'll try not to let it happen again, rather than it won't. Because it will be difficult to cut all of the trees down without any part falling into the next piece of land, as we haven't really got a lot of space. Anyway, now that the log's on the trailer, we can go and begin moving the tree. And I think I will start by trying to lift the bottom of it first, because I might be able to pull it a bit further in this way, then spin the top part round by pushing into this tree. No, it's way too heavy to lift, so I'm just going to have to push it. I think this should work well though, because I can push into the tree. Yeah, it is moving, but it looks like the top's going to get stuck on the other tree. So I think we need to go round and push it from the other side to try and get it away from that before it gets stuck in between the 2 trees. And if we can get this to go through then, I should be able to push most of the tree onto our land. Yeah, this is working, so I'll move it forward as far as I can to try and get the most amount of tree possible on our land. Okay, here will do, because I don't want to hit the stump grinder and tip it over. And we still can't cut up this part of the tree, but we can from here. So I'll get what I can cut up and load it onto the trailer, then I'll easily be able to move the part that's left by picking it up with the tractor, because it won't weigh much at all. Actually, I'll check if we can lift it by hand, as it's only the thinner part at the top. No, I can't. so we'll have to use the tractor to pick it up. And now we know that, I'll get on with loading these up, then cut down some more trees and get the logs from them on the trailer until it's full. Okay, the trailer's full up now, so I'll head over to the sawmill and unload the logs. You'd have seen that I removed the 2 stumps from the trees we cut down as well. So when we get back, all I've got to do is disconnect the trailer and start cutting down more trees. And I think if we go for 1 more trailer full of logs, that will be a good amount of this forest area that we've cleared today. Because as we're driving out of here, you'll see we've already opened up a fair bit from where I started. So yeah, I'll go and unload this, then we can come back and get some more of the trees cleared. Right, here we are at the sawmill, and it'll be good to see how many litres of wood we have in here after unloading these logs, because then we'll know roughly what we can expect to get from each trailer full. Okay, we've got 30,932 litres in there now, so that's a very good amount. And if we do get around the same with every trailer full, I'd say there's enough trees on our land to get a couple 100,000 litres of wood in the sawmill. So if that is the case, we'll be able to produce so many planks and make extremely good money from selling them. Obviously I could be wrong though, because I am only judging that off the first load of logs. And until we've put another one in, I won't know for sure if we do get around the same from each trailer full. But we'll soon find out, because I'm going to head back now and fill it up again. Right, here we are back at our land, and I'll leave the trailer facing the other way this time so we can drive straight out instead of having to turn around with it. And that'll be fine there. So now we can get on with cutting down the trees. As I was driving back up our land, I was thinking that it would be a good idea to make silage bales on here before we ploughed the fields in as well. Because there's probably 3 or 4 times the amount of grass on this piece of land as there is on our other piece of land where we usually make bales from. And we always get good money from the bales we make on there, so with the number of them we'd get from here, it would be very profitable. The only problem is, we need to have fields ploughed in and prepared on this piece of land before the planting season ends for whichever crops we choose to do. So depending on how long it takes us to get this forest area cleared, making silage bales could leave us short on time to get the fields ready. But I'll just wait and see exactly how long we have once all of the trees are gone. Then I can work out if we'll be able to do it or not. Hopefully we will have time to though, because the money we'd make from selling silage bales and planks would be unbelievable compared to what we've made in the past. And obviously the more money we make, the quicker I can buy things that will help us progress this Let's Play a lot further. So yeah, if we have got time to make silage bales, that's what I'll do, because then we'll have more to spend on land, animals and equipment. And I will actually start looking into what piece of land we should buy next soon, as I'm about 99% sure that we'll make enough for that from the planks. And getting another bit of land is my main priority, because I want to start doing as many crops as possible each year so we can get more involved in the farming side of things, as we haven't really done much of that so far throughout this series. Also, any equipment we need can be leased, whereas land can't. So really, if we have enough money to buy land, it's the best thing for us to do. Obviously, if I can buy some equipment as well, then I will do, because I would rather have our own instead of having to lease it. But I'll figure out what we can and can't afford when it comes to it, because for now, I just need to think about getting this forest area cleared as quickly as possible. And to be fair, we have nearly got the first tree onto the trailer already. There's only this last bit to load up. So I'd say if we keep working at the same kind of speed, we should get the trailer full up pretty fast. But I'm going to time-lapse doing this from here anyway, so regardless of how fast I get this done, it will be pretty quick in the video. Right, that's the trailer full up, and I've strapped the logs down. So all we've got to do now is remove the stumps from the small trees I just cut down. Then we can head over to the sawmill to unload the logs. I did end up with one of the trees falling into the other piece of land again while I was cutting them down as well. But apart from that, it went pretty smoothly. And I ended up getting 6 big trees onto the trailer this time, which is 1 more than the last load, then 5 small trees, which is the same as the last load. But even though I got the logs from 1 more big tree on the trailer this time, it doesn't necessarily mean we'll get more litres of wood from it. Because with every tree being a different size and weight, we could get, say, 3,000 litres from one and 6,000 from another. So how much wood we end up getting depends more on the weight and size of the logs than it does how many there are. Anyway, that's the last stump removed, but there is these 2 small trees here that I could do with getting rid of, because they're in front of the trees we've got up to today, and it will be easier to see how much we've cleared so far once they're gone. And I think I'll just grind both of these trees away instead of putting them on the trailer, because it was a bit awkward getting the last couple of small ones on. Plus it saves me having to undo the straps and put them on again. And this tree's fell onto our tractor, so I've not really ended this bit of forestry we've done in the best way possible. But luckily for us, vehicles don't get damaged in Farming Simulator, because if that was the case, I doubt I'd have a tractor left by now, with the amount of things that's hit it since we've had it. I'm driving around with a tree stuck in here as well, which isn't very realistic. But I will get out and move it once I've grinded this bit away. Unless I can get it to fall off by turning around, which would be much easier. But I doubt it will, because I think it's stuck in between the front loader arm and the cab. No, it's definitely not going to come off like that. So I'll quickly remove this stump, then I'll get out and move it. And it's a good thing it's only a small tree, because if it was one of the big ones, I wouldn't have been able to move it like this, which would have been a problem. But it's off the tractor now, so I can grind it away. And once this is gone, all I need to do is take the stump grinder off the tractor and connect the trailer. Then we can head over to the sawmill and unload the logs. We did bounce around going through that bush though, and a small log has just flipped over out of it, so I need to get rid of that. I'm glad we drove over it though, because I would have never seen it in there if not, and I would have ended up driving over it when we was ploughing the fields in. So I'll have to look around a bit more when we're cutting the trees down, just to make sure I don't leave any other bits like that lying around. I'm pretty sure there won't be any other pieces though, because that was just a bit I missed with the stump grinder. And apart from them last 2 trees, I've cut every other one up with the chainsaw, so we should be fine. Anyway, before I move the trailer, it's easy to see how much further we've got from cutting down the trees we did to fill it up, because I left this just in front of the first tree we cut down. So pretty much from where we are now to the trees is how much we've cleared, which is quite a bit. Now I'm driving out of here, we can see exactly how much we've opened this area up from all of the trees I cut down as well. And looking at the gap from where I started to where we finished, I'd say we got a good amount done today. Because judging by the map, from the top of our land to where we are now, is about a quarter of the forest area that we've cleared. So I think by the end of next episode, we should be around halfway through. The trees do come a bit further out from here though, which means we'll have more to cut down in this part. But as we can see, it's mostly small trees along here, and they don't take long at all to cut down, so I doubt it will make much difference in how far we'll be able to get. Anyway, let's go and unload these logs and see how many litres of wood we get from them. Right, here we are at the sawmill, so I just need to park the trailer up in here, then I can unload the logs and see what we get for them. Okay, we've got 58,737 litres in here now, and there was just over 30,000 in here from the last load of logs, so we got roughly 28,000 litres from this one, which is only a tiny bit less. And with there being hardly any difference in what we got from both trailers for, I know for sure now that we'll get around the same from every load. So what I said earlier about us having enough trees left to end up with a couple 100,000 litres of wood should be pretty accurate, because we've already got nearly 60,000 from 2 trailers full. And by the time I've put a few more loads in tomorrow, will easily have over 100,000 litres. So I think it's very likely that we'll end up with somewhere between 2 to 300,000 from all of the trees. But we'll just have to wait and see. Anyway, all I need to do now is take this trailer back over to our land. And there's no point you watching me do that. So that's everything for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, let me know by leaving a like and feel free to subscribe so you never miss another video.